Hi, I'm Tesla. I do a ton of budgeting videos, and I'm also trying to now do mid-month check-ins so I can see where I'm at. Because it seems like every time I get to the end of the month, things already feel so far away, and I feel like I forget to mention things. So I'm going to go over what I spent and how I feel about it. This is a spreadsheet I got off of Etsy, and I'll try to remember to link it in the description, but it gives me an overview of what I budgeted for this first check. So from October 1st to October 14th, I made $2,302.10, which is almost $9 more than I anticipated thanks to interest. So I think at the beginning of the month, YNAB calculated that I need to put aside $60, but then after some spending I did on my card, it said I needed to put 90.50. So overall, that is 2.5% of my income going towards debt repayment. So that's 30.50 over budget, but I was able to cover it by moving some money around in my categories, so that's fine. I invested 18% of my paycheck, which was $650 towards investments. Now that inflation is so high and my cash is worth less than ever, I don't mind having a little less cash on hand so I could have better gains in the future. So I do sacrifice a little bit of peace of mind to be able to keep investing. What changed is I was contributing $200 a month to my 401k, and now I'm contributing $300. It's not a month, $300 per paycheck. And then I didn't want to up my investments, so I'm just doing a little more pre-tax and I'm doing a little less after tax. So after tax, I invest $350 into index funds. As we scroll down the savings, it's going to look scary, and it's going to look that way probably for the rest of 2022. At the end of the month, my savings rate will be not as negative, but my first checks of the month will always have a drastic amount pulled from my savings until I replenish it with my second check. I was hopeful about October being a better month, and it's half true because mentally and emotionally I feel in a better place, but money-wise, it's not the best on paper. So let's look at the poetry slam I went to, and then let's look at the transportation section. So this poetry slam was great. It was centered around the Latin and Indigenous experience, and people spoke about coming to their identities, and it was so moving. But the issue is, while I was there, I got towed. There is no place to park at that venue, and I'm already someone who gets stressed out about driving and parking places. I thought I found an available spot, but apparently not, and it cost $261.35 to pick it up from the tow lot. So I pay the tow company. I get inside the area where they're holding my car, and then I see there's a $70 ticket on top of my car. And it's like, do one or the other, but don't do both. It just seems extra. And so by the time of October 15th, I had not paid my ticket yet because I wasn't sure where to do it, but I just figured out how to do it. And I paid it on the 16th, which is today, which is why it's negative here because I need to put in the $70 I just paid for the ticket today. Basically, in 14 days, I spent $497.21, which is $200 more than I thought I would because I had to pull $330 from my savings to cover that. And if I had known how stressful it would be to find parking in that area, because I'm the type of person who Googles parking ahead of time. Like, I don't go if I don't know the parking situation. And it said on the resources that I found that street parking would be fine, but apparently I missed the sign that said I needed a permit to park on that residential street. Anytime I came under budget in my expenses category, I moved that money back into my emergency fund because that's where I had pulled it from. But I doubt that I'm going to be able to replenish this completely this month. I'm also negative because Chip has a vet appointment later this month, and I just pulled it from his pet fund ahead of time to fill the pet category. Again, I will not be refilling it this month because it takes me several months to build $500 or whatever. So why am I going to expect myself to fix it in just 1 month? Like, that just would be too much pressure. And then I'm also negative $500 in vacations because I pulled money out of my vacation fund and put it in my Vegas category, which I knew that weekend was coming up all year, so it's fine. Vacations and Chip were expected, using the month ahead fund to cover, the upcoming portion of my bills. That's expected. What was unexpected is pulling $166.70 from my Christmas fund. I've been holding on to quite a few of my family's possessions while some of their living situations are up in the air, so I decided to buy a photo scanner for $199 off of Amazon. I haven't tried it yet. I just got it yesterday, but I figured instead of giving random amounts of money to different family members, I would take all of their family photos I'm holding for them, digitize them, and then share them with the whole family. I don't know where I'm going to store the files for them, but I think it'll be good for the memories to live on in one place. People can tag themselves and reminisce any times, even if they don't have the physical album. Plus, the photos they have are not in albums, they're just like random photos in a giant cardboard box, so I think this will help protect them. And I also want to do this for my mom's family albums too. I think it's more meaningful, and this is a one time purchase that I think will give back, again and again if opportunities keep arising for me to like help people digitize their stuff. That's why I pulled the entirety of my Christmas fund for it, which I had stopped contributing to a while ago. So I just shifted other things in my expenses category to make up for the rest of the money because it was $199, and so that was about like I guess $30 short. So even though I am very negative, the only thing that concerned me was the towing and the ticket because everything else was either something I was predicting to happen or it felt like a more thoughtful choice. Moving on to expenses, I overspent on groceries this month by $87. I was buying some home stuff from Target that you'll see when we cover my home expenses, but they canceled my order, and I knew the stuff they canceled had to be in stock, so I went inside the store. Problem is, I went there when I was hungry, and I bought stuff I didn't need. I bought specialty pasta sauces, fall themed snacks, overpriced frozen foods that ended up being not very good. I knew I was going to go over budget and I didn't care. But I will say the redeeming quality about this budget is that I am under budget in dining out for the first 2 weeks. I budgeted $75 and I only spent $40, so I'm $35 under budget, which has never happened to me before. This is actually a first time accomplishment. Somebody better congratulate me. I only ate Taco Bell one time in 2 weeks. Hot girl shit. You know what else I forgot to mention for transportation is that I had to pay for parking when I went to see Hadestown. I have so many thoughts about how beautiful the production was, the liveliness of the music, the diverse cast. I love their creative choices. It was a very expensive show that I paid for a long time ago, but I would definitely see it again. So I don't mind paying the $15 for parking. And then the other stuff was just coming back from out of town. So those are like 2 gas tanks. I got my car washed. And then I needed, just regular stuff. And then there was the parking ticket and all this other stuff. I budgeted $12 for personal care and didn't end up needing anything, which was kind of surprising because my coworker passed her cold on to me, but I just decided to suffer without medicine because of how I went over in groceries. Looks like I budgeted $290.49 for home care, and I was really close to being on budget. I was only almost $4 over. I bought baking sheets. My reoccurring subscription from Who Gives a Crap, which is eco-friendly toilet paper, kicked in. I also order eco-friendly laundry pods from Drops. And I think both of those companies have raised their prices with inflation, but I still think they're good value for the benefits they provide. So on top of that, I bought a new dish set, which weirdly enough, a lot of the dish sets I was looking at didn't include cups. So I had to pay $18 for separate cups. It looks like I actually had to pay $20 for separate cups because of taxes. The pots and pans were a little over budget. I wanted to pay $70 to $80. But instead, I paid $108 for them. They just arrived, so I haven't used them yet. I'm still just washing them. I was weirdly attached to my old pots and pans, I guess because my grandma gifted them to me right before I went to college, so I had them a long time. I don't know if I'm gonna like these pots. I think I bought the wrong color and I don't like it, but I don't know why. Something is just throwing me off. I bought them in a turquoise color, which I thought would be nice, and now I'm just like, should you have spent that much money on a color that you only saw on Amazon and did not see in person? I don't know. And then the last thing I bought for my house was I think my ex roommate started using my blender cups as regular cups once all my regular cups went missing or whatever. So I replaced those too. With everything else I bought, I still did not buy that outdoor street camera. I keep saying I'm going to get it next paycheck. And every time my dog barks tonight, I get paranoid, and so I should just buy it. I don't know why I keep putting it off. I will stop putting it off eventually. Said every procrastinator ever. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to it. Maybe next paycheck. I budgeted $421.72 for Chip, but I spent zero. I probably should have waited to budget this for next paycheck because his vet appointment is not until my next one. But anyway, I spent $8 less on my bill, so I only spent $1,285.34. And I think that's because Last month, they overcharged me for the gate cards I had to replace. Both because my previous roommate lost her gate card and my car got totaled, so all the gate cards that were in my car got lost. I wasn't going to bring it up to my HOA because I'm trying to be on the board next year, but I'm glad they caught their mistake and I am glad they charged me a little less on my HOA monthly fee. I was also under budget in appearance. I budgeted $90 for a costume, but most of these stores did not have dressing rooms, so I bought multiple costumes and accessories and I tried them all on at home, and none of them fit or they just weren't really the vibe. I know people don't make clothes in mind for people who are like 5 feet tall, but I just couldn't find the right mix of like creativity, comfort, and still like attractiveness of the costume. So basically, I had to settle. I just bought a black dress. I'm going to use boots that I already have. And then I got some really big black wings and some creature horns so I can be a little devil or something. It's not really what I envisioned, but it's fine. I still actually need to make Halloween plans because I keep going back and forth. So everything cost me $67.15. Actually, for this amount, it was actually 4 items. It was the dress, the wings, the horns, and then I bought another accessory that I was going to return, but then I broke it, so now I have to keep it. So, yeah. I am under budget, but not satisfied because I could have had a little bit more money back if I had just been a little more careful. I had budgeted $119. Now, I normally try to budget, just for 2 weeks out and not for the whole month. But I got confused during my first budgeting video and I put the amount of money I was going to spend in fun money for the whole month. So I only spent $8, and that was because of the poetry slam. And I didn't see any movies. The Hades Town ticket I bought back in March, so it didn't cost me anything extra. And I was so busy trying to find a costume that I didn't really do anything fun. I think it's fine because I don't want to use all the money I budgeted for the full month in the first 2 weeks anyway. And I think after paying so much for the tow so early on, it definitely hampered my want to like get out of town and do stuff. I budgeted $25 for giving and spent $209, and so that is $184 over. And that's because of the scanner. Since I'm using it as everybody's sort of Christmas gift for digitizing their photos, I don't feel bad about going over and giving. I never budget to lend money to someone, but I lent about $124, and so that's in credit card. That's something I bought for someone on my credit card, and I'm just gonna patiently wait to get that back, like eventually. I spent $8.39 on subscriptions, and that's on budget because those are set amounts. And then in YNAB, miscellaneous and Vegas are in two separate categories, but they're grouped together in this sheet. All I bought was a computer mouse and then tickets to David Copperfield when I go to Vegas. However, despite that, I am still under budget by $29 because I normally give myself $30 for miscellaneous stuff, which I didn't really buy anything, and I had already budgeted for the David Copperfield ticket. So I guess if you combine all the expenses together, because of some areas where I overspent, it didn't really compensate all that much for the areas where I underspent. Basically, I spent $41 less than I thought I would. So if we look at this chart here, you could see that I made slightly more than I thought, invested right on the dots, pulled more from sinking funds than I wanted to, paid a little bit more towards my card. Then my expenses were a little bit less than I expected, but they were only less because I wanted to put more money back into my emergency fund, which I had pulled from. So for this first check in October, I have spent 79% of my paycheck, which does not feel fantastic, but I know I'll probably bounce back closer to my second check, which I'm actually going to budget right after this video. I don't know if these check-ins are helpful or interesting at all, but hopefully they'll help me keep my head on straight, which is the whole point of this channel anyway. So if you watched till the end, you're a real one. I probably would not have made it this far if this were not my own video. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.